Now, let's have a conversation, because you're seeing caskets, okay? But I want you to see, which I'm sure you've seen this visual, you probably heard it, right? These are young women, okay, one wearing chudas, recently married, who was having bhel puri with her husband. Somebody with a gun walked up to them, asked him his name, and then shot him in the head. And you can understand the shock of this other young lady who's holding a phone, and she's trying to offer water to her husband sitting on a chair. He's been shot in the head. She's trying to offer him water. If you live long enough, you see all the beauty there is in the world, all the love and joy that humanity can offer. But if you live long enough, you see all the brutality in offer, all the horror in offer as well. 93 Bombay blast, 1991 Rudrapur, the Kalyan train bombing which also happened in Bombay, the Bauri Bazaar bombings in Kolkata, church bombings, Parliament attack, 26/11, Delhi bombing, Mecca Masjid blast, Bengaluru blast, Malegaon, Ajmer Dargah bombing, Jaipur bombing. We can go on and on and on, from trains to markets. I remember the places that I've grown up in, okay, Barakhamba Road bomb blast, Greater Kailash bomb blast, bomb blast, bomb blast, bomb blast. Somebody comes, puts something in a dustbin, parks a cycle, bomb blast, bomb blast, bomb blast. Something different happened when I graduated college. It was 2008, just a year or two out of college, just returned after doing my masters. This time it wasn't a bomb blast. This time 10 terrorists came with hand grenades, some dry fruits and magazines of ammunition, and they laid siege in Mumbai for 3 days. Something manifestly different happened. Yesterday in Pahalgam, ladies and gentlemen, something manifestly different happened. Now, as a country, how do we process this? Because we have to be able to face the truth. Let me have this conversation. I can see our guests who are with us. Firozji is with us. Major Shah is with us. Major Shah, let me begin with you before I come to Tahir Hassan ma'am as well. Now, there's a reason I'm saying something manifestly different happened. And the recordings of what we've seen in the last day tell us that story. A man with a gun walks up to a couple, asks the husband his name, then strips the husband, removes their clothes. Major Shah, what is the logic of taking off the man's clothes?
I have absolutely no doubts that this is a pre-planned attack with a lot of research and homework done by Pakistan to invoke sentiments and passions like ours. do not like the development that's happening in Jammu and Kashmir. They do not like the fact that the Indian Muslims do not go their father against them at all. So they want to create that communal disharmony. They want to create that hatred. They want to spread that venom, that poison. It's but natural that any person would feel hatred when they say, okay, what's your name? Which community do you belong to? Put on your pants. That kind of stuff.
No, but that doesn't answer my
It
question.
is,
In
I
your opinion, why would the men be disrobed?
Okay. I will tell you it's for there's two reasons why I see not Pakistan's hand in it, Pakistan's direct involvement in this.
Yeah, but you're not being able to answer my question,
Rishabh.
sir. You're not being able to answer my question because we find it in our country very difficult to face the truth. In a country that was born on Satyagraha.
No, what? Ask
Why
me a question.
would the
Ask me a
men be
question.
disrobed?
So please ask me a question.
What were they checking for, Major Shah? Why were they disrobing the men?
Sorry, say again.
Why were the men being disrobed before being shot?
That's what I mean. That's one thing. One, the terrorist needs to be that, right?
The
Not
terrorist will know
patriotic
why he was
people.
disrobing them. Okay, fair enough. Let me put the same question then to Firozji. Firozji, first they asked the name, then they told the men to take off their clothes. Why would you disrobe the men? Why would the terrorist who can just shoot you in the face and run away, indiscriminately kill everyone? Why would they disrobe the men?
Now listen, Rishabh, to me it appears to be a very deadly and demonizing design. And India has to be very alert about it. Firstly, you see, this man, Asim Munir, right, that horrendous army chief of Pakistan, first he said he created a lot of, he created a lot of more of hatred between Hindus and Muslims. He said we don't like Hindus. Now, what kind of language these people are speaking? I remember a long time ago, I read about Bharat Ratna Maulana Abul Kalam Azad when he said that any country which is created on the basis of religious hate, right? That country is not going to survive any long.
But Firozji,
Pakistan is
why
surviving.
I've been asking this question 5 times. Why are we not answering it?
Huh.
Nobody's being able to address it. What would be the
I am
logic
answering
of
it. I am
disrobing
answering
the
it.
men
Let-
before
please
shooting them?
Give me 5 more seconds. Rishabh, I am coming to that answer. See, they disrobed these men because they wanted to see, according to Islam, whether they are circumcised or not. How their private parts look like. This is a very deadly thing, absolutely unacceptable, and India should understand, the country should understand what kind of design this is going to be perpetrated upon the Hindus of India. I am not into Hindus and Muslims, but this is, I mean, many things are said about these kind of attacks, but I haven't heard of this attack,
Never.
the way it was conducted.
Never. It's never been
It
done.
is
Something different
most
has happened,
condemnable,
Firozji.
most hateful, most
I've told you,
most
we have
demoniac.
lived through barbarous times. I can name all the bombings that I have covered in my career.
There are no words in the lexicon to describe it. Let us, actually agree upon that.
But something different has happened. It's different this time. Now, yes, it is Pakistan. Yes, it's a strategy. But why are we finding it so difficult to face the reality of what took place? These people were killed because they were Hindu. They were asked, what is your name? And if there was an ambiguity, the men were stripped. And I can only think of one reason why you would disrobe a man, what at least Firozji has been courageous enough to accept and say that yes, probably it was to check whether they were circumcised or not, to make an assessment whether they were Muslim or not. And then they were shot. And then the women were told, go tell Modi.
Yes.
Now, can we face the reality that these people were killed because they were Hindu? Firozji.
Yes, actually, you see, I see actually the problem lies within our constitution. Though we have the largest written constitution by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, but there are certain weaknesses. We are too lenient. We are too good. Now, this is India, right? Had this happened in Saudi Arabia or Russia or China or even in a country like Malaysia, right? I mean, there would have been disaster wrought upon the perpetrators, no matter any other country, whosoever, right? Now, the thing is, many people are saying, as also you talked about 2008 Mumbai attacks, that India should attack Pakistan immediately. India will do. India will not remain silent as we were during the last, last Prime Minister's phase, Mr. Manmohan Singh's phase, who did not do anything to respond to these deadly and demoniac attacks. Now I think Pakistan is in for it, and
No,
Pakistan should
Pakistan is
pay
in
for
for
it.
it, sir. But like I said, we've been living.
Pakistan has
All of
become a
us have been living in the
terrorist
real
state.
world for a long period of time, and we have been told, and rightly so, that terror has no religion. Okay, terrorists kill indiscriminately. They kill all people. Okay, we should not be calling it Islamic terror. That's a horrible thing to say. We have been told. Okay, because Muslims don't believe in terror. All right,
See,
terrorists are not Muslim, Muslims are not terrorists. This equation should not be drawn even in the back of somebody's mind. All
I
sound principles which we
Rishabh,
all agree with. No, we
Rishabh, I
agree with
believe
these
the other way
principles.
around.
But if we
I
find it so
believe
difficult,
Muslims become terrorists. Islam actually says, Lakum dinakum waliyadin, to you your religion, to me mine. These are deadly Muslims who are actually demonizing Islam. They are putting down Islam and they are giving a very, very negative publicity. Right? Anyway, I
so
mean,
let's say I am
the person
completely,
who was
having
a
done this
Hindu
for the better part
and
of
the
20
person
years
who
as
killed
well,
him
I
after
completely
he
buy into the argument that hyperbolic, semi racist, ethnicist arguments should have no place even in the back of our thoughts and imagination. But we have to now face the reality of what people are seeing. People are seeing unadulterated videos. I can blur them, I can mute them, okay? Because I am not allowed to show blood and gore on television, but the video is everywhere. And what does the video show? Taira Hassan, there is a lady who is a young woman. She is wearing, she's newly married, so she's wearing bangles on her wrists. She was having bhel puri with her husband. Somebody walked up to them, asked them, "What is your name?" And on the basis of the name, made an assessment of their religion. Where they could not assess religion on basis of the name, the men's clothes were taken off. There are bodies strewn that are naked or in a state of being disrobed. We have never seen something like this, ma'am, and people are watching this. So now what do we tell people who have seen this, something like this happen? What confidence and assuagement do we provide to these people?
No, first I will say, Bishop, it is a cowardly, barbaric, inhuman terror act. Killing innocent cannot be justified. We should condemn it in strong words, and all people who believe in humanity, irrespective of what caste, creed, and religion they are condemning it. Even the whole world is condemning, because it's a barbaric act to killing innocent people. But you have to think in other way also, because we all know that no religion teaches killing innocent people. You see, and this is what is happening. I mean, nowadays we are seeing that people are killing, doing this thing, bomb blast, and this. It is
But
because
madam, this
they
is not a bomb
don't
blast, ma'am.
relate
But
it
that's
with
the
the
difference.
religion.
And I don't know
They
why
are
none of you are
neither
seeing the
Muslim
difference.
nor
This is
Hindu,
not a bomb
not
blast.
Sikh, not Christian.
This is not
What
Kasab
they
in
did,
Taj
they
Hotel.
asked the name of the person or strip the person to see whether he is a Muslim or not. I mean, because they want to dent the livelihood of the armed people of the Jammu Kashmir, Tourism is the sole livelihood of these people. They want tourists to come, and they were so happy. So these are the people are the, they are assaulting on humanity, assaulting the livelihood of the common people. And naturally, it is. We all know that this is
Okay.
Pakistan
Can you
doing.
just
So
okay? Just
why
hold your
to
thought.
take
I'm
the
going to ask
revenge?
my producer.
Instant revenge.
Yeah. Pia, just play out this video, and there is a spot which we blurred out, obviously, but there's a spot where I'll tell you to pause it, where the man is lying, dead body lying on the ground, who's been stripped naked. Okay.
मत लो
मेरे पति को बचा लो
हम बचा देगा कोई बात नहीं भाई तो करिए फोन
प्लीज भगवान के लिए बचा लो
दब से मन युवा डिजाइन किया है
को बचा
ठीक है हम बचा देंगे ना आप टेंशन मत लो मैं आ रहा हूँ मैं कहाँ पे आपका ये हस्बैंड
Seen it. Now I'm going to ask my production team, they're going to roll this back and they're going to pause it there. Okay. Can we figure this out? Okay, they're doing this. Let me get Atharzia. Atharzia, let me ask you the question. It's a difficult question. But how can we have difficult conversations if we can't face the truth? What would be the terrorists' intention in disrobing the men before shooting them? Was it to humiliate them? Was it to prove a point? Was it a power play? Or was it something else? In your humble opinion.
You have asked this question so many times.
But
It is
I've only
very
got a straight answer from
obvious
one
that
person.
They wanted to know the identity of the person in terms of their religion. It is very obvious.
Okay, thank you for telling us what is probably the truth.
Let me go ahead what I am feeling and what I want to say on this channel. What I want to say is that this is such a cowardly and inhuman and such a atrocious act which is being condemned all over. But the ideology and the people who are behind it, they are basically not only the dushman of the humanity, but the dushman of the Muslims as well as the Kashmiris also. What happens in Pakistan, people are being taken out from the bus. It is every time this is happening, and on the basis of their identity, they are being.
Okay, Atharji, we've lost your connection. We'll try to get you back. But I understand the premise. You're as outraged and angry as anybody should be. But I'm trying to make you understand my premise. That something different has happened. This is not the modus operandi of terrorism as we have unfortunately gotten used to over the past 30-40 years. And people are seeing this happen. How do we, Atharji, if you're back with us, for all the millions and hundreds of millions of people who have now seen this, they've seen the young women, okay, they've seen the lady who's been told that your husband is being shot, go tell Modi. They've seen the young woman who is trying to give water to her husband who's dead. He's been shot in the head. He's sitting on a chair, slumped, covered in blood, and she's trying to give him water. And they've all been killed because they were Hindu. Now, what do we tell to people in this country? What do we say to them? Can we hear him?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah. Millions of billions of people were killed during partition, and it happened just because of the religious fundamentalism and the hate theory. And the same thing was repeated by the chief of the army staff, which I tweeted is basically a statement which put Muslims in a very, very bad shape. And because of that, Muslims are being hated, as well as, to be very frank, everywhere they are being looked down. Because these kind of statements, these kind of religious activities and terrorism demean everybody. And you see what has happened in Kashmir, Pahalgam, has put all of us in shame, the whole humanity. and particularly the community which we belong, because it is so bad that, last night I was unable to sleep because my heart goes to the people who were killed so, brutally, and so, blatantly, and on the basis of the religion. So that is first time happened. This happens in Pakistan very often, because every time you see in Baluchistan, in somewhere, the whole bus is stopped, people are taken out, their identity is established, and according to that they are shot. This is very frequent in Pakistan. But this is first time happened in Kashmir or anywhere else.
It's the first time it's happened in India, sir.
It happened in.
A little bit we saw in during 26/11 when they targeted the Chabad house, which was specifically to target the Jewish community in Bombay. They targeted people who were foreign passport holders. We saw a little bit, but not like this. So let me get back to Major Shah. Major Shah, this is not the same, sir. Something different has happened. And people are watching this and they're going to be really upset, and they know exactly. Now you and I might not be able to readily address it. I don't know why. I can readily address it. Most likely you strip an individual either to humiliate that individual, show your power over them, or in this case to establish a religious identity through the markings of circumcision. Now people are watching these videos. They're watching the reactions of the people who are going back home with caskets. This is different. How do we address the people of this country now, sir?
Okay,
It is
Rishabh.
creating.
Yeah,
it is
let
creating
Major Shah take that. Major Shah.
Rishabh, the intention of the terrorist is very, very clear in this. The intention is, yes, to humiliate, to check if the people are circumcised or not, to actually profile them from the community. The bottom line is to create a rift between Hindus and Muslims, to create communal divide. It's very, very obvious and very clear. 4 days back, there was a statement, a shameless, ridiculous statement by the Pakistani Army Chief, General Asim Munir, to which the former Indian Army's Deputy Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Zamiruddin Shah, he clarified, he came and gave me an interview and he mentioned it's to determine the position of the Indian Muslims. When he mentioned about the between Hindus and Muslims, how ridiculous can that one be? So most certainly it was a very timed attack. When the Prime Minister was out of the country, he had gone to Saudi Arabia. The Vice President of America was here in Jaipur in India. Now it was the Amarnath Yatra is going to be starting from 3rd of July, and Pahalgam plays an important base for the Amarnath Yatris. So it is, the intention was very, very clear to cause a divide between Hindus and Muslims, and I would urge, but just a minute, Rishabh, I wrote an open letter which I shared with you. I don't know if you would have got a time to read that or not, which has gone viral, which has been published by various media houses. It's there. There I have spoken about it. I have talked about it. I wrote an open letter during when Pulwama happened as well, and that also went viral, and your channel was very gracious to cover that very, very gracefully. Now the very fact in which I have described and I have mentioned that the pure intention was to create a misunderstanding, a religious divide between Hindus and Muslims.
It's worse than that.
Yes.
They want people, what is intentioned here, and there is only one motive. They want Hindus in India to get angry and agitated. Okay? These guys come from Pakistan and they've come with a new modus operandi. And the modus operandi is that the rift you create in a country is far more powerful than killing even a dozen lives or 2 dozen lives. And the only way we tackle it is by taking the bull by its horns, because we'll have to first hunt down these 4 terrorists. Then we have to make Pakistan pay a price that they can't even comprehend. Let their hands shake and their brows sweat tonight. But beyond that, we have to be acutely aware that what is the design? The design is to create hatred and anger. And the only way we avoid that is by addressing it. This happened and we are united as one. If we dodge it, walk around it, don't address it. So I thank all my guests for addressing the reality of what took place. They are all of us, the people who died, Indians. And we all have to now avenge their deaths. All of us have a responsibility. Could be you tomorrow, sitting and having bhel puri with your wife, and you're asked to disrobe, asked your name, and then you're shot, and then your wife is told, go tell Modi. Could be anywhere. Unconscionable. Ladies and gentlemen, I have some developments. Meanwhile, I'll interject into this conversation we were having for that reason, because now that the Home Minister has arrived in Delhi, I'm told Ajay Jandial is with us. Ajay, if you can hear us, we are also being told that we have a report now, the first televised report of the site which has just been opened where this attack took place yesterday. Do we have that ready? Okay, let's listen in. This is the first TV report we have post the attack from that Pahalgam site. Let's listen in.
इंडिया न्यूज़ देश का पहला चैनल है जो आपको ग्राउंड ज़ीरो से तस्वीरें दिखाएगा। बाईसरन के उसी जगह पर हम मौजूद हैं जहां पर कल दोपहर को आतंकियों ने खून की होली खेली और 28 से ज़्यादा टूरिस्टों पर फायरिंग की। यहां से आपको जो रास्ता मैं दिखा रहा हूं, बिल्कुल ये हिली टेरेन है जहां से हम पैदल चल रहे हैं। यहां से लगभग 20 मिनट का ये रास्ता है जहां पर मीडोज़ है और घना, अगर हम देखें तो घने जंगलों से इर्द गिर्द ये मीडोज़ है वहाँ पर, जहाँ पर टूरिस्ट जो है बाई फुट या घोड़ों के ज़रिए जाते हैं। कल जिस तरह से यहाँ पर टूरिस्टों पर अटैक किया गया, उसके बाद जो है इन पूरे जंगलों में जो है सुरक्षा बलों के जवान तैनात किए गए हैं और इस समय तस्वीरों के ज़रिए आपको ये एक्सक्लूसिव तस्वीरें दिखा रहे हैं। यहाँ से एक केबल कार भी जाता है जो कि काम भी करता है बीच बीच में, लेकिन कल ये केबल कार सिस्टम जो है बैठा हुआ था, जिसकी वजह से टूरिस्टों को वहाँ से रेस्क्यू करने में कहीं ना कहीं दिक्कतों का सामना करना पड़ा। फिलहाल तस्वीरें आपको ग्राउंड ज़ीरो से दिखाते हैं हम कि किस तरह बाईसरन, जहाँ पर ये आतंकी घटना कल घटी है, अब से कुछ देर पहले गृह मंत्री अमित शाह भी जो है यहाँ पर पहुँचे, उन्होंने जायज़ा लिया और इस वक्त भी एनआई की टीम जो है घटना स्थल पर पहुँच गई है, जो कि तमाम चीज़ों को खंगाल रही है। और फिलहाल इन्हीं घने जंगलों में यह आतंकी जो है वो छुपे हुए थे, जिनको न्यूट्रलाइज करने के लिए सुरक्षा बलों का साझा ऑपरेशन जो है इस समय इन घने जंगलों में चलाया जा रहा है। हालांकि इन जंगलों में चलना ख़तरे से खाली नहीं है हमारे लिए भी, क्योंकि इन जंगलों में आतंकी जो है अभी भी छुपे हुए हैं, जिनकी तलाश लगातार की जा रही है। मेरे कैमरामैन फिरोज़ और मैं बड़ी मुश्किल से यहाँ तक चल पाए हैं, कम से कम 4 किलोमीटर हम पैदल इधर पहुँच चुके हैं, लेकिन अभी आगे और रास्ता जो है कठिन है, क्योंकि हिली टेरेन से यहाँ पर सिर्फ बाई फुट या घोड़ों के जरिए इंसान पहुंच सकता है। यानी इंडिया न्यूज़ देश का एक ऐसा चैनल है जो ग्राउंड ज़ीरो से आपको तस्वीरें दिखा रहा है, क्योंकि यहाँ तक पहुँचने में काफ़ी कठिनाइयों का सामना इंडिया न्यूज़ के जर्नलिस्ट को करना पड़ा, मुझे और ख़ास तौर पर मेरे कैमरामैन फिरोज़ को। फिलहाल ग्राउंड से ये तस्वीरें आपको दिखा रहे हैं बाईसरन का ये हिली एरिया, जहाँ पर 4 आतंकी कल दिन दहाड़े आए और उन्होंने यहाँ पर अंधाधुंध फायरिंग की। फिलहाल इस पूरे एरिया को जो है सुरक्षा बलों ने अपनी लपेट में लिया है और यहाँ पर हेलीकॉप्टर सर्विसेज, ड्रोन सर्विलेंस, हालांकि यहाँ पर मैं बार बार इसलिए कह रहा हूँ ख़तरे से खाली नहीं है, क्योंकि इन घने जंगलों, इन घने पेड़ों के पीछे आतंकी भी हो सकते हैं, लेकिन हम अपनी जान की परवाह किए बगैर इस समय आगे आपको तस्वीरें दिखा रहे हैं और वहाँ तक पहुँचने की कोशिश भी करेंगे जहाँ पर यह इंसिडेंट हुआ है और वहाँ पर किस तरह का इस समय माहौल है। जब ये अटैक किया गया तो उसके बाद किस तरह से जो वहाँ पर टूरिस्ट फंसे हुए थे, जो इंजर्ड टूरिस्ट थे, वो किस तरह से नीचे गए होंगे। यहाँ पर मेरे कैमरामैन फिरोज़ वानी आपको दिखाएंगे कि किस तरह से चढ़ाई है जहाँ से चढ़ना पड़ता है और कहीं ना कहीं उस समय घोड़े वाले नहीं होंगे, उस समय कोई यहाँ पर नहीं था, ये लोग जो है ऐसे ही खुद से जो है नीचे गए और काफ़ी ज़्यादा कठिनाइयों का सामना जो है वहाँ पर जो टूरिस्ट है उनको करना पड़ा। फ़िलहाल यहाँ से आपको दिखाएंगे, ये केबल कार है, यहाँ तक बिल्कुल ये आता है, लेकिन यहाँ से आगे जो मीडोज़ है, यहाँ से आगे का सफ़र जो है 20 मिनट का रास्ता है, लगभग 4 किलोमीटर हमें अभी और पैदल चलना है। लेकिन घने जंगल है, काफ़ी ख़तरा है क्योंकि हिली टेरेन है। फिरोज आपको तस्वीरों के ज़रिए दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। यहाँ तक आते आते हमारी सांस फूल रही है, लेकिन देश को दिखाने की ज़रूरत है जहाँ पर यह आतंकी घटना घटी है। बिल्कुल इन खूबसूरत पहाड़ों और इन खूबसूरत घने जंगलाती दरख्तों के पीछे किस तरह से पाकिस्तान से आए आतंकियों ने यहाँ पर कल आतंकी होली खेली और यहाँ पर मासूम निहत्ते टूरिस्टों पर फायरिंग की। आप बने रहिए देश और दुनिया के संग इंडिया न्यूज़ के साथ, हम आपको ग्राउंड ज़ीरो से अप टू डेट की खबर पहुँचाएंगे। फिरोज वानी के साथ बैसरन पहलगाम से आशिक मीर, ITV नेटवर्क के लिए।
So surreal, isn't it? It's a beautiful place. So as my colleague Asif was explaining, this particular tourist spot, which is sort of a picnic spot where you can go horse riding, there's a cable car that that takes you to a particular point, and then you have to further walk into the meadows in a vale in this forested area where, of course, the terror attack took place. He's climbed till the top of where the cable car drops you. Now, meanwhile, what you're seeing on your screens is Omar Abdullah attending one of the funerals. He's also spoken out. Let's listen in.
क्या कहना चाहेंगे? आज आप जनाजे में भी आए,
क्या कहा जा सकता है? इसकी पुरजोर मजम्मत, उन लोगों के साथ ताज़ियत और हमदर्दी का इजहार जिनके ऊपर और जिनके साथ ये सदमा पीता है। हमारे बाहर से मेहमान आए थे छुट्टी मनाने के लिए, बदकिस्मती से उनको कफनों में घर वापस भेजा गया है। यहाँ हमारा एक गरीब नौजवान मजदूरी करके रोजी रोटी कमाने वाला आदिल घर से निकला था मेहनत की कमाई करने के लिए। बदकिस्मती से आज उनका कफन जो है उनके घर लौटा दिया गया। लेकिन सुनने में आया है कि इनकी मौत ऐसे नहीं हुई, ये बहादुरी का सबूत दिखा रहे थे। वहाँ लोकल सुनने में आया है कि ये एक शख्स थे जिन्होंने हमले को रोकने की कोशिश की और जिन्होंने शायद बंदूक छीनने की भी कोशिश की, और तभी जाके इनको निशाना बनाया गया। अब जैसे इनके घर वालों ने अभी जनाजे से पहले बात की, इस खानदान का हमें ख्याल रखना होगा, इनकी मदद करनी होगी, और मैं यहाँ इन सबको यकीन दिलाने आया हूँ कि इस मौके पे हुकूमत इनके साथ।
Okay, Ajay Jandial Mike is calling. So let's take a reference to context. So this is individual called Sayyid Ajay, who was also killed. Now what Omar Abdullah is trying to explain to us is that while they were specifically targeting Hindus in Pahalgam, okay, this man was trying to intervene, and that's why they shot him.
Yes, Rishabh, that is what the local was saying. Those who are eyewitnesses, they say that when tourists were targeted by the terrorists and they opened fire, he was basically very close to the terrorist, and when he feels that they are going to kill the tourists, he basically tried to snatch the rifle from one of our terrorists, but other terrorist who was very close to the tourist on the other side, he opened fire on him, and then he was grievously injured, and later he lost his life. So people of Kashmir, basically those who serve humanity, those who serve to the people, those are coming to Jammu and Kashmir for for enjoying the beauty of the Kashmir. They are basically serving very peacefully. But there are some people, those who don't want
Yes.
Kashmir to be peaceful, because
So,
for
you know,
last 10 years,
as the days
from
go
there,
on,
20
as the
years-
hours pass by, you'll find ordinary people doing acts of heroism. Okay.